Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moody Talk number 2 on jealousy. So, what is jealousy? Jealousy is a feeling of being threatened that you are going to lose something or someone that you love. And it can be a competitive thing. You can get jealous if maybe at work you are working with someone who does a similar job and you want to do it better. Or that person is getting more time with the boss and you're feeling threatened that maybe your job may be taken away from you, or that in general that there's a threat that's happening. And that's what jealousy shows us, that we are feeling threatened. And so we need to find coping skills to help with that, right? So this week, we're going to talk about opposite action. Okay. So opposite action is doing a thing that we tend to do. We're doing the opposite of it so that we can get more tolerant of doing that instead of what is causing us to feel more jealousy, right? The things that we do, like snooping, that kind of thing, asking too many questions, questioning people, or love bombing. We talked about love bombing last week, where you just keep throwing love and attention and caring to someone because you're fearful that if you don't, they'll leave. But love bombing is one of those things that kind of backfires on you, right? So you don't want to be doing those kind of things. You want to feel more, comfortable with the relationship or your job or the thing that you feel you're going to lose, right? So let's get into it. Again, opposite action is, now this is where what we're going to talk about is all the way opposite action. So it's not just doing one step at a time. For opposite action, a lot of people use opposite action for like fear. Okay, so I'll give you a quick understanding of it. Your wallet was stolen at the supermarket, and now you're afraid to go to the supermarket. And you take small steps. The opposite action is taking small steps towards going back and getting back into the routine of doing something. It can be used a lot for PTSD. So we're talking about all the way opposite action for jealousy. It's doing the absolute opposite that you would normally do as a jealous person. Okay, let's get into it. So the number one thing that we have up here for jealousy is stop spying or snooping. You don't need to be a detective because that's exhausting. Stay away from probing questions like, where were you? Okay? Jealousy can create so much conflict in a relationship. And so it's saying stop spying and snooping because you're probably not that stealthy. I'm going to say that. I think a lot of people think they're a lot more stealthy when they do the snooping and spying, and that it's not being noticed. Okay? Most likely, if you're doing a lot of that, you're going to get noticed. We're not all from the CIA or FBI, Secret Service. We're not. So we're probably not being as stealthy as we think we are, and that can be annoying to a person. It can be upsetting in the sense that they feel mistrusted and they feel a certain way about that, right? They don't like, it's a very negative feeling to have. So the number one is stop snooping and stop spying. Okay, I think it makes sense if you really sit back and think about it, because when you stop doing those things, you're not fanning the flames, right? If you're fanning the flames by constantly looking at their Facebook, constantly looking at all their social media, checking their phone, that kind of thing, that isn't helpful for yourself to get over this jealousy. It's only going to fan the flames of it. Okay, remember that. Stop spying and snooping. Okay. Number 2 is don't avoid. Listen to the other person. Focus on body sensations, your surroundings, keeping your eyes and ears open, and take in all the information given. So this don't avoid means the tough conversations. This is the interpersonal effectiveness side of things. If you don't avoid the discussion, you're still going to feel that emotion. You're still going to feel that jealousy. If you talk to the other person, tell them how you're feeling. You know, it feels vulnerable, yes, but it also opens up communication to allow them to help you feel better about it, to give you positive affirmations of how they feel about you, or that your job is not in jeopardy, those kind of things. Having those conversations is really important. It's so hard, but we have to learn to accept that jealousy is a valid emotion and talk to people as though jealousy is a valid emotion, because it is. And that also gives them the information that you're being open, you're being vulnerable. And that's not a bad thing, especially if it's a romantic relationship. You should be able to be vulnerable with the person that you are with and not constantly feeling jealous and worried about your relationship. So, this don't avoid can not only be a help positively, it can also show you that you're not with the right person or you're not with the right job. It can give you that information that can help you to become, you know, uh, to get what you need to get. So, if it's a relationship, you're getting the, feelings that you need back. If they're not willing to give that, they're not willing to accept vulnerability from you, they're probably not the right person to be with. So this gives you a lot of information. Don't avoid. Also, notice our body chemistry and posture. Relax your muscles. So when we're jealous, we can get really tight and like we're angry, right? But it's really jealousy, and that can cause us to get tight. It can cause us to stoop over. It can cause so many different body sensations. And as we talked about body sensations last week, we need to monitor that to make sure that we have it under control and that we understand the intensity of the emotions and the body sensations that we're feeling. Okay. So relax your muscles, unclench those hands and jaw. Do you need a fidget toy or to stay focused? Maybe a quick splash of water before continuing the conversation. So these are, jealousy is something that always needs to be discussed. You can't sit in it because it festers, right? You want to be able to talk to a person about your jealousy. This gives you the chance to figure out what you need from the relationship, if you're getting what you need from the relationship, and you get information from the other person on whether or not this is a viable relationship. You shouldn't have to go through your life feeling jealous of others. There is a way for us to be able to come out of the jealousy, learn something from it, and create a more valuable and positive life in that sense. Again, it can be for people, it can be for jobs, it can be for anything that we may feel jealous about. If you're feeling so jealous, this toxic jealousy, you're not living the life that you deserve to live, because having toxic jealousy in your life can really bring you down and make you feel not as, your self-esteem can get really low with toxic jealousy. So all the way opposite action. It's doing everything that that you feel you don't want to do. No snooping, no stalking, cyber stalking, And then, having those tough conversations and listening to your body, listening to how this jealousy is affecting you and how you can pull yourself out of it by learning the information you need to build a positive life. Okay? So that's it for this week. We'll be back next week with a little bit more on interpersonal communication. I think it's important, and we will talk about that next week. Have a good rest of your week. Bye.